Hi everyone, this is Amaya Tala and I help people flourish in life. So today we are going to talk about something that is related to our flourishing. And today what's coming to me, and I'm actually going to use the guidance of the tarot cards here to let me know what it is that we need to be learning around this time where there's a lot of things happening around us in the world, energetically, physically, and just things that are crumbling down. Things, and as they are crumbling down, they are also getting built up. But the process of that crumbling can entice a sense of fear within us. And if we don't know how to navigate that, it can cripple us and it can make us think that we want to give up because all we're seeing are towers that are crumbling down and it looks like the end of the world, But actually, how we should look at these things that are happening around us are opportunities and things that are emerging around us, opportunities for things to emerge and also for us to co-create that emergence, because we have the ability, skills and talents to be part of that contribution in our own way. It could be small or big. Even if it's small, it's big, because a blade of grass, which I love saying, it's just one blade, but yet it is very important in our ecosystem, in the way the earth exist in a daily basis. So whatever it is that you're doing is very important, and I'm getting this message that you need to keep going. We all need to keep going. I need to keep going. But there are illusions around the period of time and change where we manifested the towers that are crumbling down. We manifested that because in order for change to happen, certain things need to go away. Certain things that don't align with the type of change that we want have to go. And so, but we need to be skilled in being able to navigate the things that are being pulled away in our reality and stay focused on the reality that we want to build. So, I'm going to share with you how I do that. Obviously, there are also fears that are coming up within me, and it's interesting because I'm not really updated with news, so I'm not really sure what's going on out there, because in my head, I'm really focused on creating positive ripples where I am, and that gives me more empowerment to know that I can make changes in the people who are around me, especially the people who are aligned with the vision that I have. And it's interesting when I hear a news, like one of the news that I heard about is something about how a lot of people are adopting electric vehicles. They're not perfect. There are probably a lot of discussions that go around the use of electric vehicles, but at the same time, the fact that the mainstream or a lot of people are shifting into that type of culture or lifestyle is amazing, because it just shows you that change is possible. Status quo is not really a status quo, because within the status quo itself, there's a lot of change. There's a product somewhere out of the blue that will become popular and changes the mindset of people, changes the way people do things. Bamboo toothbrush, all of this attempt to be sustainable are starting to be adopted by many people. And in my own way of processing that, maybe people adopt things to the degree that they're ready for. And so this is a good opportunity for us to not judge the status quo right away. Although yes, there are resistance, there are challenges, there are obstacles, but there are also opportunities and there are things that can be unlocked. given that we use our talents and capabilities to figure out the puzzle. And this is tricky, but I feel like nature has given us all the intelligence and the skills and capacity to be able to figure it out, and change is possible. So for me, in my own experience, it's more about me meeting people where they are, because I've done a lot of healing work within myself, and I've manifested in my own personal life the fulfillment and happiness that I didn't even know existed. And I created a life for myself where I get to be creative, I get to do what I love to do in my own little world. It's not a perfect world, it's not a fancy world, but I make it my own fancy, So, and now that I feel like I've accomplished a lot of personal goals, I am stepping into more of reaching out to our community from a place of more groundedness in terms of my own life. But it's very tricky because there's a lot of resistance, there's a lot of people not knowing the information, and where do I start, how do I spread this information. And I used to have that victim mentality of, everyone's just against me, they're never gonna understand me, or it's just me against the world. That narrative could be true, but it's not really helpful. Because once you have that narrative and story, what else can you do? You're just gonna be a victim. Like, it's not a tool. It could be something that you could use to justify a hard life or a struggle, which is it has its own validity to it. There's nothing wrong with that. It could be true for some people, and it's okay. And I'm not judging that, and your experience is valid. But for me, I just realized that it's not really giving me a lot of leverage in terms of my own life and what I want to do in this world. And when I switched some of the assumptions and part of that narrative and story, I realized that there are things in the community where people are just driven by different motivation at this moment because of the programming and the conditioning. And I read some books. I was led by the universe to read certain books for me to have clarity about that situation. And now I have a very different perspective of the community. Our community is I feel like deep down inside, we all want to be happy, whatever that definition is. Maybe each person have their own definition, but each one of us, I feel like in general, are pursuing something. And the information that many of us got from many different sources that are like just trying to get our attention, depending on which sources really got our attention and really got into us, we have chosen, or maybe unwillingly have absorbed certain information that are not really the tools or the stepping stones to where we want to go. But then because a lot of us, or some of us, or many of us are misinformed about how to really have a great life, it's just where a lot of us are just misdirected. And even the information that a great life is not possible is another information that a lot of us have tended to believe. And if you really question that belief, like, is it really not possible to have a great life, given that we have a lot of resources on Mother Earth, given that, let's just say there's no restrictions, let's just say it's free for all, let's just say all the resources in Mother Earth is free for all, just for a moment, it is possible to have a great life. And but obviously the challenge is the challenge of our times. They're not easily accessible, they're not easily given to us. There's like these rules from the status quo of who gets in and who stays out. But do we have to accept that? Are there other ways? Are there people who already shown that there's other ways? There are people, especially influencers, not everyone, but there are certain influencers who have shown that there is a different way to serve the community in a way that doesn't really just focus on greed, you know? And we're all trying to figure out the resources that we have around us that we can leverage to be able to serve each other in the best possible way with the circumstance that we have. You know, we do our best with the cards that we're dealt with, that we're given. And knowing human nature, we're really good at just at being resourceful and finding a way. We will find a way. And so for me, it's about researching more information, you know, finding, looking at the trends, what is really going on. Are there, you know, questioning what I think I know about the world, questioning how my perspective really helps. The perspective is a tool. Perspective is a tool. So doing a lot of that, and that's why healing is it's not just a personal growth thing, it's not just a spiritual thing, also, although it is very much a lot of that, but it's also a practical tool. Because when you heal, you let go of certain projections that you put on the world and other people, and you see the world mostly for what it is, or at least from the perspective that really benefits you, that really benefits your intention. So that's one of the tools that is really helping me right now to keep going. And what I would like to say with that is, like, it's really in your hands. We are storytellers, we are writers, you know, it's, you know, we all can do that. And creativity is one of the things that will really help you to be able to see all of the angles of the stories of your life and the world and how you fit in that. And obviously how you really, there's a process of embodying that and really owning that, you know. And it's a process, but I'm sharing with you like just like the overview of one of the ways to be able to keep going. And the towers that are falling down are just indications that we are on the right track. And please take this opportunity to go out there and really start building the new reality that you want for yourself, because it is going to benefit other people. Because we are just tired of like the status quo that's not really for our well-being. Are we perfect? Do we know everything? No, but we want to have a good time, and I bet a lot of us know how to have a good time. So yes, let me pull a tarot just to see if there are more messages here before I end this flourishing session. And I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for being in this channel. Thank you for spreading light and inspiration to our world, to our community. For even if you're just doing this by yourself, you know, your own healing work, that means a lot. That's the right step. That's the right first step to be able to really make a big authentic change in this world. So please keep doing what you're doing. So any words from the universe before I end this? Let's see if there's anything else that's coming. I think that's it. Okay. Oop. All right. See? Beautiful. So I got 3 here. The first one is stag, trust, and thrive, which is what I was talking about. Like, it's time for us to thrive. It's time for us to, I guess, trust the process is the additional message. Trust the process, that everything is coming together. You know, everything is, the seeds are growing. You know, just trust that process. And it may be painful. You know, it's hard to tend a garden, but just trust the process. See beyond the current situation. So we do need to look at what's really going on around us and see, is it really what it seems to be? Or is there something that we're missing about what we see? Do we need to look at it from a different angle? Do we need to open up our minds more a little bit? Question what we really thought it was. So maybe the universe is challenging us to take a second look about what we thought about the world. Is it really that hard to change? Traveler, move in a new direction. So I feel like it's really time for us to move to the new reality that we all know our hearts are asking for, are desiring. And there are a lot of opportunities that are sprouting for us to be able to step into that. And last is Shield Maiden, make plans and focus. So it's time for us to really make strategies and focus on our plans to be able to really ground this physical manifestation into this world. Because it's time for us to play, it's time for us to have fun, it's time for us to show the world what we're good at, we're talented at, what creations we can do, so that we can all have a good time and enjoy each other's creations. The status, I mean, not everything, but some of the status quo's creations are just crap. It's just junk. No, we want to play. We want to have a good time. We want the real deal. And it's time for us to step up for that. So I'll end it there, and thank you so much for being with me. I hope this gave inspiration for us to keep going into our pursuit, our endeavors. And I can't wait to see you bloom, and I can't wait for our reality to be grounded into Mother Earth. And Mother Earth is also going to have a good time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for existing. And I hope you have a great, great present moment. Till next time.